January 30th, 2011 discloses a very unusual case. Lisa Straub and Johnny Clarke, a couple who were both murdered in the same house and at the same time. This case unraveled more things as the police dug into it, but with half-truths and half-lies, it took the police over a year to figure out this case. And to this date, the question remains, did the police have the right guy? Lisa Straub and Johnny Clarke were a young couple aged 20 and 21. They had been dating each other since 2009. Johnny went to barber school. Lisa worked part-time at TGI Fridays while also attending nursing school. The couple had rented out an apartment in Toledo, Ohio, but with a tight budget, they moved back in with Lisa's parents. Lisa's parents had their 25th anniversary that year, for which they planned a cruise trip. So, Lisa and Johnny were home alone, tasked with taking care of the house. But who knew that Lisa's parents would never see their daughter again? Just 3 days after Lisa's parents left was when the tragedy happened. Johnny's mother, Maita, was the first out of 4 people to call 911 that evening. In her call, she tried explaining to the police how she didn't know where her son and his girlfriend were. She had heard from Johnny's friend Tiffany that a strange phone call occurred between the two, and now Maita could not reach her son. The mother cried about her son being missing and pleaded with the police to send help. The police went to the house to do a welfare check, but no one answered the door, and so they left. After Maita continued to call and plead to the police to go back and do another thorough check, they went a second time but still found nothing because the blinds and shutters prevented them from seeing inside, and so they left once again. At this time, Johnny's parents and Tiffany were also at the house. After the police left, they all searched the premises themselves. While searching, Mr. Clarke, Johnny's father, spied a window at the back of the house, whose blinds were partially open, so he hoisted Maita's cousin up to peer through it. There they found both Johnny and Lisa tied up. Upon seeing this, Maita called 911 again and told them about the whole situation. She described how her son and Lisa were tied up and laid unconscious. Meanwhile, as the police were arriving, Mr. Clarke kicked in the front door and went inside. Upon entering, he discovered a heart-wrenching view. In front of him lay his son Johnny and his girlfriend Lisa with plastic bags covering their heads and their hands and ankles duct taped together. He instantly tore open the plastic bags to discover that his child and Lisa had passed away. Following an inquiry, it was determined that their deaths were caused by strangulation. With further investigation of the house, the research team found the family's belongings scattered. There was a broken plant, a broken phone, and a picture of the couple were torn in half and left in the sunroom. The door between the garage and the kitchen showed signs of bowing at the deadbolt. The upper floor was no less of a mess, especially the master bedroom. Clothes were all taken out of the walk-in closet. Behind the dresser, a panel was also found that revealed a crawl space and a hole in the drywall. Additionally, Lisa's bedroom door lock has damage from impact. This scene didn't show a botched robbery though, because many valuables, including jewelry and laptops, were untouched. The most confusing part was how the 6 envelopes, including 4.6 million Iraqi dinars, were left behind. The only thing that the murderers took with them was 2 $20 bills. If they had left all this behind, it clearly shows that the perpetrators had been looking for something specific. Police thought this murder had been well planned. They depicted the entire incident as they had imagined it. They explained how Lisa and Johnny attempted to stop the invaders after spotting them approaching via the garage door. At one point, Lisa left the room and shut the door behind her. The police officers reported that there had been several perpetrators. It was believed that everything was planned and prepared even before Lisa's parents left on their trip, and the murderers were somehow connected to Johnny and Lisa. On March 1st, 2011, the police announced that Johnny and Lisa had been specifically targeted. Johnny and Lisa's friends were partying teens, ones who engaged in regular drug use, so the police had to question everyone related to the couple for the investigation. Small samples of DNA had been removed from the items taken from the house, but the most questioning was from a cigarette found at the door to the garage. This DNA on the cigarette belonged to 5 different unknown males and females. No matches were found for the profiles, so the police had to take DNA samples from all the people that Johnny and Lisa knew. The main attention of the police was on Tiffany Williams and Zachary Burkett, who were supposed to come over to the house at approximately the same time as the attack. To make things less confusing ahead, Tiffany was pregnant with AP's child, who was the ex-boyfriend of Alex Cosino. These are the names that were coming to us again and again. Tiffany told the cops how she and Zach had planned to meet the couple that night. They were going to get some pills and play pool at the Straub house. She also explained how she called Johnny that night and heard male voices behind him. Despite all this, Tiffany didn't call the cops immediately, but instead did so after 2 hours when she received no response from Johnny and Lisa. She explained how she was scared to call the police immediately because Johnny and Lisa had drugs in the house, and she did not want to cause any trouble for them. 17-year-old Zach was asked to take a polygraph test, which he failed. But when there was no evidence linking the pair to the crime site, the police turned to other leads. When they reviewed the calls, they discovered Anthony Watson, the person Johnny had been waiting for that evening. Anthony was then called in and investigated by the police. Upon the detective's questions about who he thought might have done it, Anthony gave AP's name, as previously Anthony was robbed by the same person. With further questioning, Anthony suggested that the police inquire about a girl named Alex Cosino, who was also very close to the couple. After Anthony, Alex was called in by the police for more information. Alex explained how she had trouble with the couple in the past, mainly over money, but those issues were resolved. According to Johnny's father and others, Alex threatened Johnny and Lisa over the phone. However, she freely provided her DNA to the authorities, which was not matched. Fast forward 9 months into the investigation, Anthony Watson returned to the police, telling them about the scenario he had heard from a female friend. He had heard that 3 men decided to rob the house, including a guy named Samuel Williams. They got into the house to look for heroin and for the safe where Lisa's parents kept all their money. The police examined the DNA from the cigarette. They discovered a 50-50 match between 2 DNA samples belonging to Samuel Williams, the identity Anthony provided, and the other, the Cameo Petaway. They were both pals and co-conspirators and spent time in and out of jail. Samuel Williams was then called in by the investigators for questioning. He told the police how he didn't know Lisa or Johnny. Police also told him about the DNA that they had found and that the reports had his name on them. Samuel pleaded not guilty in September 2011 for the murders of Johnny and Lisa. Likewise, Cameo was also arrested as an accomplice, but the case rested on a small amount of DNA. When Samuel was incarcerated in the Lucas County Jail, he made several phone calls. He used an inmate's PIN so as not to connect the calls to himself. He called Cameo's brother, Stephen Petaway. The content of these conversations were incriminating. When questioned about it, Samuel explained that the calls were taken out of context. Meanwhile, another woman by the name of Destiny Madrid came forward, claiming that she was with Samuel on the night of the murder. She said they were hanging out at a bar that night, but police had no luck finding any proof as the bar did not have any cameras. Not much longer afterward, a jailhouse informant came forward by the name of Eric Yingling. He told the police that Samuel told him about his role in the murder of Johnny and Lisa. He explained how Samuel said to him that they went to the house through the garage, and upon entering, they started yelling and got violent. At that time, Johnny told Lisa to go upstairs, and Samuel followed her and forced himself into the room. They were looking for money but didn't find any. They got Lisa and started torturing her to force Johnny to spill the truth about the money and the drugs. But that moment never came, as Lisa died the 3rd time they put the bag over her head after passing out. And then another person named Eric Taylor killed Johnny Clarke. He told how they never intended to kill anyone, but it just happened. He also explained how they found foreign currency. The jury trials for each of them started in July 2012. The prosecution countered the defense's claim that there was improper DNA found on the remains by claiming that gloves may have been worn. On the basis that the burden of proof had not been satisfied, Cameo was declared not guilty. However, in addition to the DNA evidence, the jailhouse phone conversations, and the informant Eric Yingling's testimony, Samuel was found guilty and convicted of 2 charges of aggravated murder, abduction, and burglary on July 27, 2012, after the investigators confirmed that the information about Iraqi cash was not made public. He received a sentence of 2 consecutive life sentences with no chance of release. Thank you for watching True Crime Prime. If you want to see more of these crime-related videos, kindly subscribe to our channel. Remember to like, share, and comment.